It's collaboration time. We're going to go behind the scenes a little bit between photographers and characters with Jennifer Oakes. And we're going to let down the veil just a little bit on this one. Hey, if you enjoy this, please don't forget to hit that like button down below, share it on Twitter, Facebook, and other social media, and hey, especially don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that way you can know anytime I've got a new video out. So I am so excited because I finally get to do a collaboration video, and it's somebody that I've been watching for quite a while on YouTube, somebody who actually, their work time overlapped with mine, although I think we figured out that we didn't work together, and that is Jennifer Oakes. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, Sir Willow. It's great to be on your channel. Very excited.
It's so great to have you. I'm really excited about this because there's just a lot of things that I have been really looking forward to asking and talking with somebody else about who had some of the same experiences. So this is going to be fun.
Yay!
So what I've got is I have a bunch of questions that I'm going to ask, and we'll kind of get answers, and then we'll just kind of see where things take us. Jennifer, if you could just kind of briefly share a little bit about what you did at the parks.
I worked in Disney entertainment from 2004, summer of 2004 through fall of 2009. And I started off part-time, then went full-time, and ultimately went seasonal for the last few years. In 06, I went seasonal. I was friends with a couple of princess characters. Yeah, I also was friends with some of the, like the Rafiki and, or can I say it like that? I don't know.
Yep, that's good.
I was friends with some of Mickey's friends too.
So you went seasonal about the time that I was starting off full-time. So that means there's about 3 years there that we would have overlapped, even if you were just a day or two here and there.
I do remember the PhotoPass people. I do remember.
Now, were you there when PhotoPass first started and began to transition in with the characters?
Yes, and I really liked the PhotoPass people, and I love how Disney does it. Because I've actually, now that I'm a mom and I go to the parks as a guest, when I go to like other theme parks, they don't do PhotoPass the way Disney does PhotoPass. It's so seamless at Disney, and it's so quick and easy, and I just love it. I feel like it gives a better guest experience, better guest memories. They were such a pleasure to work with. I mean, it was really quick. It was all about the guest needs first, and the guests like took all their photos first, or even during the character interaction, you know, they'd be snapping shots here and there, very quietly, almost like paparazzi in the background. And then, you know, they would take these great professional photos that, you know, not everyone has a big old camera that they can bring to the park, or that they want to lug around, or just maybe they don't have access to that kind of a nice camera that Disney has. It's just so great.
So you liked it better than with the PhotoPass photographer versus not having a photographer?
Yeah, it was really nice because I felt like it actually added magic to the experience for the guests. I feel like they felt more valued. Does that make sense? Like if they came and they were just getting an autograph and they didn't have a phone with them or a camera with them to take a picture, it was kind of like, oh, hi, you know, all right, bye-bye, you know, like, versus they got a fuller experience just because somebody was there taking their picture. And it was like all the focus was on them.
So not just with the pictures, but did you find the PhotoPass photographers to be helpful with the interaction overall too?
Yes. You know, they were really quiet though. I felt like they were really behind the scenes all the way. To be honest, I mean, they were, all of the ones that I worked with, they were always quiet, kind of kept to themselves, especially if they weren't in their like young 20s college age, because the majority of Disney character entertainment were college kid age, I would say. You know, that 19 to 26 max, you know? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say that because you do have some people who are in their early 30s in Disney entertainment, but the majority of them are, you know, the young folk.
Yep.
I felt like with the PhotoPass people, they were more mature. They weren't into the same topics necessarily that the college kids were into. You know, they were doing their own thing, like on the break room. That's where you really, because when you're on set, you're working. But when you go backstage and you're actually able to be together, the Disney Entertainment characters kind of, I remember, talking to the Aladdin, I don't know, I talked to everybody in the break room, but I kind of felt like the stereotypical PhotoPass person would go sit off by themselves and do their own thing. Did you feel like that was you? Were you the one, or did you actually try to befriend Disney Entertainment characters, or how did that go for you?
It really depended upon who and what I was working with. It's something I hadn't even thought about, but yeah, you're right. As PhotoPass photographers, we did generally tend to be older than a lot of the entertainment people we worked with. I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, most of us were like late 20s into our 30s versus, the younger ones. Although we did have younger people too. For me, it kind of depended upon who I was working with, though. At PhotoPass, we were kind of drilled that if we got to use an entertainment break room, that it was a privilege and we had to be invited in and we could be asked to be removed any time. So we were always kind of like, all right, this is your area, not mine, and so I'm just kind of here by invitation.
Oh my gosh! Wait, I am totally shocked to hear this. I am so shocked.
Yep. And there were a couple of them that I never did get invited into. And that was okay, at least for the first couple years of PhotoPass. Now, once PhotoPass merged with entertainment, that kind of changed a little bit. But I was still always kind of like, okay, this is your place, not mine, and I'm just here by invitation, so if I'm invited in, and I feel an opening, I'll talk, but otherwise I'll just kind of sit here and say thank you.
Oh my word, I had no idea that you guys were even told something like that. I'm actually shocked because I always heard rumors that Disney Entertainment was spoiled. Like, that was the vibe. I think somebody told me that before I even applied to work for the company. When I was just investigating working in Disney Entertainment, I asked somebody in the Magic Kingdom on the Main Street area, one of the shops, I was like, what are the Disney Entertainment people like? Do you see them? And she was like, oh, they're spoiled. They are so spoiled. And when you say that, I'm like, that gives, it kind of puts puzzle pieces together for me as to why we were treated the way we were,
It didn't bother me at all, because entertainment, they're busy doing things that nobody else does. I mean, you need the changing rooms, and you need the places to be able to relax after doing what you're doing in a different way than a regular cast member would. I think most people, if they had thought about it, they would understand. But we knew that they were entertainment break rooms, that they weren't open break rooms like you would go to with all the picnic benches and other stuff. That's why we kind of knew that this is meant for you guys who are working and sweating in ways that none of the rest of us have to do.
Right. Now I could kind of see that. I guess also where PhotoPass sticks out to me the most, because especially when I did, like towards the end of my time as a full-timer, when we did start getting PhotoPass, and even when I was seasonal, I spent most of my time at Epcot. Yep. So I don't know if you ever actually did work in the Morocco area,
yes,
which is where I was.
I remember the Aladdin and Jasmine break room there, in with Mo Rockin, and
yes,
it was a different break room.
I missed them. They are gone.
I know they've gotten rid of so much of the entertainment at Epcot that I'm not happy. I was actually looking at my pictures the other day, and I saw a neat picture of Off Kilter, and I was like, oh, I miss them.
They were the bomb.
But yeah, that Aladdin and Jasmine break room at Epcot, because you kind of had the Moroccan area, and then there was like this big conference table there, and then Aladdin and Jasmine were off in separate rooms on the side of it, and I don't know if you remember where the conference table was, and then it was almost like this half wall and a little counter table there, and then the refrigerators. Yeah. And that's kind of where I sat when I was breaking with them.
And that's what I remember about PhotoPass. I remember them hanging out there. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really connect all that much with PhotoPass. It's funny though, because, when I went seasonal with Disney Entertainment, where I would only work a few times during the month, I was working full-time, which was full-time at Disney's Grand Floridian Spa was only 30 hours a week. But when I was full-time over there, I actually was working alongside a massage therapist who had just left Disney PhotoPass. And she was my age. We're both moms now. We both have kids around the same age. Yeah, she was awesome. But she was not what I would consider to be a stereotypical PhotoPass person. Mm-hmm. The stereotypical PhotoPass person, honestly, was someone kind of like you, I would say.
That's scary.
No, really. I mean, it's just we didn't really talk all that much with PhotoPass people, but I always wondered, and I guess I'll have to ask you this on my video when we do a video on my channel.
Yep.
But so I'll save my question. I'll let you do the question asking.
Let me ask then, for you, did you ever get stuck with a bad photographer?
I honestly don't remember bad photographers per se.
Okay.
Because for me, a definition of a bad photographer would be somebody who didn't get the shots that they needed. Because they were so quiet and reserved and really did their best to stay out of the way of what was going on. Like, they really were like a little birdie in the background on a tree almost, and they barely spoke, to be honest with you, is kind of how I felt, which honestly added to the seamlessness. Like, when they came, actually, I do remember when they first came thinking, oh, is this gonna slow the line down? Is this gonna take longer? Is this gonna make it worse? Was my fear. Even as a guest, especially with two little kids, I'm tapping my foot like, is this line gonna move faster with these characters? Is that character taking too long with that child up ahead? Only because my children, being toddlers, like they haven't learned patience yet. It takes years to learn patience, and I didn't realize that before I became a mom. You're hoping that the line, it's called, the term we used was love and shove,
Yep, or hug and shove is what we...
Okay, hug and shove, love and shove, however.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Because you got to be mindful of the guests. So my biggest concern was, is this PhotoPass person gonna slow things down? And I honestly never felt like they did. I felt like they were so quick in getting the shots that they needed, and they were on top of it right alongside the families taking their own photos. And it's kind of nice because you're kind of getting a photo session in addition to this character. I felt like it added value. I felt like it added to the experience.
This may be a tougher question then, since they were kind of the silent partner there. Do you have a favorite moment that stands out at all with a PhotoPass photographer? I don't even necessarily know if a favorite would be a good question, but just a moment where you remember the photographers kind of coming out of the shadows and playing a role.
They were helpful because sometimes I remember the character attendants weren't able to be with you as the character 24/7. I mean, especially during like Food and Wine Festival when it was body to body, they're getting bombarded by guests, and I felt like PhotoPass, when needed, would step in and help. Oh, the bathrooms are over there. Oh, ma'am, you can't stand right there. You need to step aside a little. Of course they said it nicer than that. But they, they use their Disney way. Yeah, kind of being a second hand to the character attendant if needed.
Yeah.
But they never, and I had positive experiences with photographers. I can't remember bad experiences with PhotoPass people because they were all really nice. If anything, they were fun, and really sweet, and it was kind of nice because finally somebody outside of Disney, or what in my view they were outside of Disney Entertainment, I felt like they could get us. Mm-hmm. They could understand the drama,
Yep.
or the hard parts of the job, kind of like how that person said, that we were spoiled on that person in Main Street who worked in retail. And they were there because they were able to see it.
I know for us too, at least with me, when I went through training, because I was part of the expansion in 2006. When we trained with characters, we had a couple days, and one of it was essentially, part of it was working directly with characters and seeing what they go through, where they actually had us put on a little bit of the costume just so we could kind of see what, in particular, the fur characters experience. But we also, what they told us was we had a condensed character attendant training. And so we had about a half day where we essentially learned to run the lines and so forth. I kind of would joke with some of the character attendants that, hey, if you need to step away, I can run this. With some of the young kids, I felt like I could actually run their line better than they could. But thankfully didn't have to do that real often, but...
Yeah, and well, I mean, you just having more life experience. Yeah, I could totally see that. I think that's great.
And Epcot in particular, that came in very handy sometimes during the festivals. Because you could let the attendant go, okay, go cut your line, take care of the back of the line, I'll take care of the whole front, and we're good to go.
Oh yes, you know what? That's a great point. Exactly. They did have to cut the line, and I remember before PhotoPass, you were on your own up there as a character. Like if somebody was assaulting you, not that it ever really happened. Thankfully, I always had Aladdin with me.
Yep.
To protect me from any drama that may go down. Yeah, you were off on your own, like, and the lines could be pretty long, so they were like way back there. But having PhotoPass felt like an extra safety blanket.
What are a couple things that you would suggest for guests getting ready to meet a character to have ready to help make it better, to make the interaction better? Things not to do, maybe, too. For example, I can remember a few times people coming up with stacks of autograph books. You know, especially when you got like a group of 15 and everybody's got their autograph book. And, oh. Do you have any suggestions to help a guest, regular family or group or otherwise, to help make the interaction better with the character?
It's funny you say that about the stack of autograph books. I never minded signing those autograph books. They did slow the line down. It's funny because you were able to see it from third person perspective. Mm-hmm. To me, that was an autograph book for somebody who couldn't make it for whatever reason. Maybe they were stuck on a ride. I don't know. I felt joy signing every autograph book that I ever got the opportunity and the privilege to sign. It did slow the line down. I guess in that sense, yeah, I don't know. But I didn't mind that. I will say this. It used to annoy me because we were trying to go fast. And you would get, a few kids that would come up, like siblings especially, twins, or just brother and sister, and they each had their own Disney pen. And you're trying to sign you do get dozens of autograph books all day long, and you're trying to sign these books as fast as you possibly can. And they want you to sign with their special pen. And a lot of times I didn't, because I was just going so fast through the autograph books. I would just use the same pen to sign all 20 autograph books that were handed to me.
As opposed to 20 pens, yes.
And then to have to switch pens, and a lot of times, like some of these pens had food on them from who knows what syrupy item they were eating earlier, or just they were sucking on their pens, chewing on their pen, this kid's saliva, which from a parent's perspective, that kid's saliva, there's no problem with that. Like, so what? It's just a little saliva. But if it's not, even if it's a baby, almost like toddler, but you're talking to someone who was in their early 20s, when I did this. But, I didn't, everybody else's saliva was nasty, So once I found a pen that was suitable, I was going to stay with that pen. And you would get these tantrums and breakdowns from kids from using different pens. So I don't know, I guess I would want to almost inform the parent, like, if you want to cater to the character, then tell your kids in advance, look, we're going to use Joey's pen for this character and we'll use Susie's pen with Minnie, or whatever. Yep. Alternate, or else if you don't, if your kids can't handle that and they need separate pens, please inform the character. I would just make mention, like, hey, we bought them each their separate pen. I don't know, like, to me, it would have been nice to hear it from the parent before, because I would go so fast, I was flying. Like, the autograph would already be done with the other pen by the time this breakdown was happening.
Yep.
And I felt like I had just ruined their experience because Jasmine didn't use that pen. I would literally hold up the book and I'm like, it's already been done.
What other things would make
That's just one thing.
The whole interaction easier, though? Were there questions or things that guests would do that would just make the whole thing fun? I know Disney bounding is kind of a new thing. It didn't really exist when I worked there.
I would definitely have a list of questions prepared in advance. Rehearse these questions, know these questions. I recently just met Kylo Ren.
Yes, I saw
had a list
that.
of questions. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll have to search my channel and find the Kylo Ren meeting. Literally, I went blank. Like, I would even have them written down. Do not rely on your brain to remember. Have them written down. Usually, I can rely on my brain to remember. Kylo Ren could not rely. I went blank. It was awful. But have a list, especially so that you don't forget what you're going to ask. Like, even make a notebook with write down all the characters you're planning to meet, write down the questions you have for them, and do have questions with your characters. If you just go without questions, ready and prepared for the characters, you're just gonna go and get a photo and an autograph and be done. Because that's what we did. You know, we were trying to get through the lines so fast that unless somebody went out of their way to really show that they wanted an interaction and they wanted that, a lot of times we couldn't, because especially during food and wine, I feel like Disney just has gotten so busy. It wasn't always as busy as it is now. And it's gotten so busy that I feel like you do need to be prepared and ready. Definitely be wearing the shirt for that character. If you want the character to notice you and care about you more, do something to stand out. And one way to stand out is to have some, even if you're not wearing the shirt, have the pen that has their character logo, have the hat or the pin or something to let them know, hey, I like you a lot. You know, you're special. Because they're going to see that and they're going to be drawn to that. It's an opportunity for conversation to talk about that. Because I remember little girls, especially with Princess Jasmine, she was one that a lot of parents, I think, kind of shied away from. You know, she wasn't, now they've changed her outfit to be more modest.
Yep.
But, or maybe she just wasn't as popular, I don't know. But it was rarer in those days to see Jasmine merchandise. So when I did see it, I was all over it. Mm-hmm. Where did you buy that? Did you get that in the marketplace at Agrabah, you know, or wherever, you know, like, or something? But it's a topic starter. And I'm hoping with the live action Aladdin movie coming out, I'm hoping we're going to be seeing more Princess Jasmine stuff, because I will always have a special place in my heart for her.
So that's wonderful. I'm hoping when I'm down there in January that we can get together and do a collab in the park. So that's kind of my goal. So we'll see if that comes together. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because I want to make sure we got plenty of time for your videos. So if you've enjoyed this, be sure to check out the collaboration on her channel as well. On mine, we kind of help preserve the magic and keep everything there as much as we can. But I'll let you know, we may end up sharing some things that I wouldn't share on my channel on hers. So go check it out. There will be a link in the description. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm so excited about this and excited about finally getting together with you.
Yeah, it was exciting to be on your channel too. Thanks for having me. It feels great.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a blast. Jennifer's actually got 2 videos with me on her channel. That's right, 2. Where we talk even more about various things, including really going behind the scenes and talking about some behind the scenes stuff that I wouldn't talk about on my channel. So you'll get to hear some really neat things that you wouldn't otherwise. So be sure to check out the links in the description below for that. Thanks so much for watching. Again, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you can know anytime I've got a new video. Make sure you hit the bell to go along with it. Hit that like button as well. I'd love to hear your comments and feedback too, so please don't forget to share those in the comments. And thank you too to all my patrons for supporting me. Y'all are wonderful. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right there. If you'd like to see another great video of mine, there's a good one right there for you. And if you'd like to be like these wonderful people and support me on Patreon, hit that link right there. Thanks so much.